Hey, this is C&D Channel. I'm Chris. This is MMA for you. Gonna be doing my predictions for Bellator 97, Chandler versus Rickels, which happens on July 31st. Main card's gonna be on Spike TV, and the prelims will be on Spike.com. Overall, this is a very good card. You have guys like two title fights. King Mo's fighting. Good heavyweight fight with Martinez versus Minakov. We got the return of Patricio Pitbull Freire. The prelims are really good. Will Brooks is fighting. You got two fights in the bantamweight tournament semifinal. Bubba Jenkins, Sean Bunch, two really good prospects there. So yeah, just overall, both the prelims and the main card all look really good. Definitely a card to check out. So let's get started. Michael Chandler fights David Rickels. In this fight, it's really easy to go with Michael Chandler, and I think he'll win as well. However, I don't think he's going to, a lot of people think he's just going to steamroll David Rickels. I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen. One thing about Rickels, he's only 24 years old, on a 4-fight win streak. Just one of those super game and tough, gritty opponents. Kind of big for a weight class. Oh, good chin. He's only lost once. And that was to Carl Amundsen in a fight that many people thought David Rickels should have won. He is good off his back. Striking isn't too bad. He's that type of guy, too, that's always looking to finish, even when he's winning. Just a really tough guy, I don't think he has what it takes to beat Chandler, though. As Chandler is 11-0 undefeated, 27 years old, trains at Alliance. He's a Bellator lightweight champion. Really strong wrestling. I mean, the guy's like a little Sean Shirk. If he gets you against a cage, he's like taking you down. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu solid as well. And his stand-up has been greatly improving. He's been showing a lot more power in his hands. He has a good chin. If you watch the Eddie Alvarez fight, you can see that he was taking a lot of hard shots. He's really aggressive about getting takedowns and always pushing forward. Michael Chandler, really good talent at Bellator. He's one of those guys I would actually like to see fight in the UFC. Heck, I wouldn't even mind seeing David Rickels fight in the UFC. He honestly, maybe this might be a little too high for him. He could be like a Pat Healy type. Just that really tough opponent. Kind of a tough out for anyone out there. But yeah, Michael Chandler, I think, is just, he's got elite wrestling and just a really good fighter. I gotta go with Michael Chandler to win this one. Okay, next fight after that, we have Funky Ben Askren versus Andrey Koreshkov. Both guys are undefeated, actually. Askren 11-0 and Koreshkov 13-0. The fact of the matter is, if you've seen a Ben Askren fight, you've seen one, you've probably seen them all. Takedown, some ground and pound. He'll try and pass guard. Like I said, the thing with Ben Askren fights, I always say this, it takes a certain person to appreciate and like his fights. I actually don't mind his fights. He trains at Rufus Sports. He's really strong and creative with his wrestling. He's not like this power, he's one of the best wrestlers out there, but he's not like this power double type of guy, and that's the crazy thing. Always pushing forward, super good in the scrambles. He's actually one of those guys that you shouldn't go to the ground with anymore, because he always somehow manages to end up in top position. His top control is awesome. He actually has a really good chin. I've seen this guy get hit. His submission defense is really good. That's the other thing too. He knows where to be at any given position, and his ground and pound's improving. He did he did get a doctor stoppage on Carl Amundsen in his last fight. With the Koreshkov 13-0 undefeated record, 8 of those wins are by KO TKO, 3 wins by sub. He's only 22 and he trains at Rust Fighters. This guy's got some pretty heavy hands and some strong kickboxing, you know. Really good fighter. Still young, still improving too, you know. That's a problem though. With a lot of Askren's opponents, they don't have that really strong takedown defense. I'm not saying that Koreshkov gets taken down at will or anything, but he doesn't have like the strongest takedown defense. And Ben Askren can take down like almost everyone at welterweight, you know. Like I think this will be another 5-round Ben Askren fight, you know. To take down, he's just gonna push forward, take down, guard pass attempts, some ground and pound. You know, probably not get a finish, and if he does, cool. You know, Askren's, like I said, Askren's ground and pound did show some improvement in his last fight. He did show like fight, you know, like outside the cut, he was showing some like strong ground and pound. So yeah, I expect Ben Askren to win this one. Next fight after that, we have Muhammed King Lawal versus Jacob Noe. You know, there's actually some beef in this fight. A lot of beef, actually. I know Lawal was friends with Babalu. I believe Noe's training at Syndicate, and like Lawal used to train there, and you know, there's just a lot of beef with Lawal. Well, it's mainly on Lawal's side with Noe. Records are actually kind of similar. King Mo has a 10-2 record with 1 no contest. Noe has a 12-2 record with 1 no contest. Thing with Noe, I mean, he's 32 years old and he's got some heavy hands. Good kickboxing. The guy, you know, hits like a mule. You know. He showed some pretty good takedown defense in his last fight against Babalu. However, King Mo, I mean, this guy, 8 of his wins are by KO or TKO. He's 32 years old. Numbers-wise, these guys are very similar. That's pretty much where it kind of ends as far as similarities with these guys. Lawal trains at AKA. His wrestling's really strong. He'll chain wrestling, like he'll go from single to like trips to like back to single or whatever, you know. The ground and pound is really strong, man. He knocked out Seth Petrozelli in his last fight. He's knocked out the Monsoon. Not Monson. I forget. Jeez, how did I forget his name? The guy from Riverside. He's knocked at him out with ground. They've knocked out a lot of guys with ground and pound. His top control is really good. His boxing's good. There's still a couple defensive lapses as shown in the Manuel Newton fight. I mean, he gets outside of the spinning back fist. If you watch this fight, he does get tagged clean, but he did get tagged clean a lot by Newton. I do like that Lawal, though. He also uses body punches and has some heavy hands. All that said, I got to go with Muhammed Lawal to win this one. I think he's just a superior fighter. But no way, you know, he's got some, like I said, he has some power in his hands. Next fight after that, good heavyweight fight. It's for the Summer Series Heavyweight Tournament final. Winner of this fight gets Drago Volkov. Yeah. Ryan Martinez fights Vitaly Minakov. Martinez is a guy I've always liked. 10-2 record, 5 wins by KO or TKO, 2 wins by sub. He's 25 years old on a 3-fight win streak. I believe he trains at Syndicate also with like Roy Nelson. I know Vinny Megalash shit trains there. I think Martinez, solid boxer, good takedown defense, heavy hands. I mean, it's funny because when you look at this guy physically, he doesn't look like he's very fit, but the fact of the matter is, he usually is, actually. And it's not like he has, like, really bad cardio. He's just one of those guys that doesn't look like he's, like a super fit fighter, but he is. actually. And he moves pretty well, too, you know? Oh, relatively. But Vitaly Minakov, I mean, 11-0 undefeated record, 6 wins by KO, 4 wins by sub. He's 20 years old. He's got a sambo background and some heavy hands. Man, Ron Sparks got starched by him in his last fight. That combination of improving stand-up and that sambo background, I mean, that's a really good combination. I gotta go with Vitaly Minakov to win this one. Not gonna totally count out Martinez here. You know, he's definitely a guy that, you know, like I said, he's a solid heavyweight that like no one's heard of. But Minakov, undefeated, strong background in sambo, good hands. Gotta go with Vitaly Minakov to win this one. Okay, next right after that we have Jared Downing versus Patricio Pitbull Freire. Downing's coming off that loss to Lance Palmer. He did pretty well against him, though. Trains out of Hard Drive MMA, 9-2 record. His finishing rate's not great, though. He has 1 win by KO, 1 win by sub, and 7 wins by decision. He's a good wrestler. He has a really good chin, always pushing forward, and he's just a really aggressive guy. Before that, I forgot who he beat. But yeah, I mean, he's always in your face, pretty much. With Pitbull, though, 17-2 record, 6 wins by KO, 7 wins by sub. He's 26 years old. Trains at Team Nogueira. Muay Thai is really strong. He can fight inside. He can fight outside, too. Watch his fight against Pat Curran. I saw that live, and that was one of the best. And a lot of people say this, too. As far as best inside fighting in MMA and inside, just overall inside boxing in MMA, Pitbull Freire versus Pat Curran was one of the best displays of that. He does have some strong Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, some heavy hands, a good chin, and his offensive wrestling's improving as well, too. So I gotta go with Pitbull here. He's just the more well-rounded guy. Downing, though, I mean, he could potentially wrestle his way to victory. But I think Freire, in the stand-up, he has the advantage. His wrestling is improving, and he does have good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as well. Okay, on to the prelims. We have Will Brooks versus Chris Leyva. Well, Leyva is on a 4-fight losing streak. He has a 9-5 record with 6 wins by KO or TKO. He has 3 losses by KO or TKO and 2 losses by sub. So every time he loses is by finish. Will Brooks, despite getting knocked out by Syed Wad, really good prospect. Still a prospect I'm going to look out for. 9-1 record, 3 wins by KO or TKO, 4 wins by sub. He's 26 years old. Good wrestler, really good ground and pound, and his striking's improving as well. He's also just a really good athlete, Got to go with Will Brooks on this one, and just going by record alone, and this is kind of a, gimme fight for Will Brooks. I mean, he's fighting a guy coming off a 4-fight losing streak, Next fight after that, in the bantamweight tournament semifinal. So one of these 4 guys is going to fight Eduardo Dudu Dantas. So Rodrigo Latino Lima fights Rafael Marquego Silva. With Silva, 19-3 record, 8 wins by KO or TKO, 8 wins by sub. He's on an 11-fight win streak, trains out of Reno Vacal, but it is his first fight in Bellator. I think most of his fights were in Brazil. With Lima, 11-1 record, 3 wins by KO or TKO, 5 wins by sub. He's 22 years old. Trains at Team Nogueira. And a good wrestler, good top control. His Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is solid. If he wants his last fight against, I'm forgetting names. I think he fought Ronnie Mann, actually, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's Ronnie Mann. I mean, he showed some improved stand-up in that fight, too. This one's kind of tough for me to call, but I'll go with the guy who's kind of proven here, Rodrigo Lima. I think he can use his wrestling and his top control in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to win this one. And like I said, his stand-up is improving. Okay, next right after that, in the bantamweight tournament semifinal, we have Frank Baca versus Anthony Leon. Okay, Baca is a 16-2 record, has 6 wins by KO TKO, 5 wins by sub. He's on a 2-fight win streak, and trains at Fit NHB, no holds barred. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Tim Means trains there as well. If I'm not mistaken. It is his first fight in Bellator, and he's fought a good majority of his MMA career so far in the King of the Cage promotion. Anthony Leon, 12-5 record, 5 wins by sub, 7 wins by decision, 26 years old on a 3-fight win streak. Trains at Chain Bomb Squad. He's just coming off a good win over Fun Size, Zach Makovsky, if I'm not mistaken. Good wrestler, good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'll go with Anthony Leon to win this one. Okay, next right off that, Mike Barreras fights Bubba Jenkins. Barreras is 5-5 record, 4 wins by KO TKO, 1 sub by strike, 2 losses by sub. Bubba Jenkins 3-0 undefeated. He's training out of ATT, 25 years old, 2 wins by sub, 1 sub by strikes. So yeah, so guy tapped out by due to strikes. And Jenkins, so far in his MMA career, has never been past the first round. One of the best wrestlers, top wrestlers out there, just one of the top prospects out there. I remember seeing some of this Jenkins fights. Man, this guy has a supersonic shot, man. You know, I mean, it's not like Demetrius Johnson's or anything. You know, that guy's just like, you know, it's super smooth. This guy, really nice, smooth wrestling. You know, I expect Bubba Jenkins to use his superior wrestling, get the fight to ground, maybe get a sub, maybe get the ground and pound finish here. Next right after that, we have Richard Hakievs versus Javier Palacios. With Richard 0-1 record with his 1 loss by decision. Javier does no pro MMA bouts. As an amateur, he is 1-0, and he did get a submission as an amateur. I'll go with Javier Palacios to win this one. Next right after that, pretty interesting fight here actually, as Keith Berry fights Jeremy Kimball. Keith Berry, 15-10 record, 9 wins by KO TKO, and he also has 6 losses by KO TKO. He's 25 years old on a 4-fight win streak, and he trains out of Reign MMA. He's a good kickboxer with heavy hands. But with Kimball, I mean, this guy's kind of been like an underdog type guy for a while now. He's a 9-3 record with 6 wins by KO TKO and 1 win by sub. And that 1 win by sub is his last fight against notable prospect Chidi Njokuani. Which actually really surprised me. I thought Chidi was going to run through this guy. He's doing pretty well. Once he got taken down, he got choked out, pretty much. The thing with Kimball, though, his 3 losses, all 3 of his losses are by sub. But he's on a 5-fight win streak and does have a notable win over not just Chidi Njokuani, but Drew McFedries. Because of that, I'm going to go with Jeremy Kimball to win this one. Okay, next fight that, Felipe Chavez fights Adrian Cruz. Well, Chavez has a 5-3 record with 1 win by KO, 4 wins by sub. He has 2 losses by sub and 1 loss by KO. So all of his fights, win or lose, end in a finish. Trains at Mean One MMA, which I believe is Keith Jardine's gym. Adrian Cruz, he's 4-0 undefeated with 1 win by TKO, 2 wins by sub, 31 years old. I'll go with Adrian Cruz to win this one. Next fight after that, we got another great wrestling prospect as Sean Bunch fights Steve Garcia. Well, Garcia has no pro MMA fights yet, but as an amateur, he is 3-0 undefeated, with 2 of those wins as an amateur being by KO or TKO, and he trains at Mean One MMA. Sean Bunch, 1-0 pro MMA record, 30 years old, trains at AKA, really strong wrestling. Got to go Sean Bunch to win this one. And finally, Donald Sanchez fights Cliff Wright. Sanchez has a 28-13 record, 12 wins by KO TKO, 11 wins by sub. 6 of his losses are also by sub. He's 28 years old on a 3-fight win streak. He also trains at Fit NHB. He's also fought a lot of times in the Kin to Cage promotion. Cliff Wright, 7-4 record, with all 7 of his wins being by submission. Like Jared Downing, he trains at Hard Drive MMA. I'll go with Cliff Wright to win this one. So, let's recap, actually. Michael Chandler. I got Michael Chandler over David Rickels. Ben Askren over Andrey Koreshkov. Muhammed Lawal beating Jacob Noe. Vitaly Minakov beating Ryan Martinez. And Patricio Pitbull Freire beating Jared Downing. On the prelims, I have Will Brooks beating Chris Leva. Rodrigo Lima beating Rafael Marquego Silva. Anthony Leon beating Frank Baca. Bubba Jenkins beating Mike Barreras. Javier Palacios beating Richard is it Haskins or Jaquez? Jeremy Kimball beating Keith Berry. Adrian Cruz beating Felipe Chavez. Sean Bunch beating Steve Garcia. And Cliff Wright beating Donald Sanchez. So that's pretty much it for my Bellator 97 predictions. If you have any comments, just leave them below. That's it for MMA for you. Thank you guys very much.